Even though we can't see it, the air all around us has a huge impact on the quality of our lives.
The air's temperature, its humidity, and the particles it carries with it can affect our comfort and our health.
Today on PowerHouse, we'll talk about the importance of assessing air quality in your home and how you can improve it.
We'll also explore a couple of add-on features that can enhance the efficiency of your heating and air conditioning system and keep you comfortable all year round.
And we'll show you what to look for when you're buying an air filter and how they can help keep your family healthy.
That's all next as we clear the air on this edition of PowerHouse.
As colder weather sets in, we're gearing up to spend more time inside, and it's only natural that we want our homes to be as comfortable and healthy as possible. A major factor in our home's health is its air quality. When it comes to air quality issues big and small, Bob Vole from MB Mold and Air Quality Testing has seen it all. Bob has many years in the air quality testing business, and he has some thoughts on the importance of air quality testing. Bob, hi. Come on in. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Glad to be here.
Before we get started, can you talk about air quality in general? Why is it so important to test?
Well, sure. I mean, the air quality in a home is obviously crucial to the safety, the health, and the comfort of the people that are living in that home.
All right. Well, under these circumstances today, we've called because there's a little bit of an odor in the house.
And that's
the
pretty common.
homeowner's concerned about that. What are other common issues that people call you about or that you end up finding as a result of your tests?
Well, one of the main things is going to be mold and fungal issues, which can be associated with that odor. Usually prior water damage in the home or something like that that could affect the air quality in the home. But there's a number of other things, volatile organic compounds or chemical smells that people could react to, or other things such as asbestos or even pest problems.
Wow. Well, let's get started. I'll take that for you.
Great, thanks. I've got more gear out in the truck. Let me go grab it and I'll meet you in the basement.
Good.
Thanks.
So here's the basement, Bob. Is there a reason why you wanted to start down here?
Yeah, basements are traditionally a problem. One of the most common problems in a home is going to be water intrusion, which basements are prone to. So whether it's actual water intrusion from outside due to a leak or surface water, or whether it's just a humidity issue, which is causing condensation, basements are prone to all those things.
All right, well, I think the best thing for us to do is just follow you around.
Sure.
And if you could kind of brief us on what equipment you're using and what you're looking for as you go through the basement.
Let's do that. So basically, one of the main things that I want to look at is the HVAC system in the house. That's not only responsible for keeping people comfortable, but the main thing, it also climate controls the air, and that's going to manage the humidity issues. This furnace happens to have a whole home humidifier system on it. That's a wonderful thing during the winter, keeps you from getting a shock every time you touch a doorknob. However, if it's not running properly or it's not turned on and off at the right times, during the summer it can cause a lot of humidity issues, which can cause problems in the home.
Okay.
The other thing I'm looking for is just to make sure that the furnace has an adequate filter, and I'm also checking to see if there's a supplementary air purification system involved, just to know whether that's something I might be recommending moving forward. So some of the tools that I'm using today, one of which is a thermal imaging camera. Now what a thermal imaging camera does, it simply shows the difference between hot and cold surfaces. So as you can see here, it's a very sensitive one and it picks up my handprint very quickly.
It sure does. So those temperature changes, what does that tell you?
Well, the difference with the temperature changes is going to show me whether there's latent moisture on a surface. A moist surface, as it evaporates, is going to evaporatively cool. So it's going to be cooler than the surrounding surfaces. Basically allows me to very quickly check a room in a home to see if there's a moisture issue without having to actually poke every one of the walls.
Okay.
All right. The other thing that I'm looking for is I'm looking for telltale signs of things that could indicate a potential mold issue or a moisture issue that may become a mold issue. For example, I use a high intensity flashlight to look for surface dust. And as you can see, the surface dust here is nice and smooth and even. If there was a condensation problem that was starting to result in mold growth, I'd see little circles which would indicate that a mold colony is starting. I don't see any of that in this home. The other issue I like to look at is contents. The contents in the home, have been in this atmosphere for an extended period of time, and they'll show signs that there's an issue. For example, books are an excellent food source for mold because of their construction, and they also really will show up if there's any indication of fungal growth. And again, I'm not seeing any of that in this home.
Good.
There is one more thing I saw in the other room that I want to check though.
All right. So Bob, what caught your eye in this room?
Okay, so what I wanted to talk about in this room was this beautiful trunk, okay? This is obviously an old piece. It's been around for a really long time. My concern was that maybe this has existed in a non-climate controlled environment for a lot of years and could be water damaged or have some moisture issues that could result in a fungal problem. But I don't see any problems at all with this trunk. It's absolutely a beautiful piece.
Now, are you really concerned because it's wood and wood is a porous material?
Absolutely, that was one of my primary concerns. But now that we're here looking at it, there's also a lot of other construction materials that are here that are porous in nature that are being stored. Some of them look like they may have been water damaged in the past. They could be the reason for the odor we're talking about.
So it could be that they weren't here and it's not a structural issue, but they were brought in as water damage and that can spread mold?
Yeah, absolutely. If a water damaged or affected material is brought into a home, it could then cross-contaminate the home as well.
Okay. Is there anything else in the basement you want to look at?
No, but I do want to head upstairs and let's grab some air samples upstairs just to see if there's any cross-contamination from these items in the basement that are affected the living space.
That sounds good. So Bob, this seems like an odd place to hold a test, way down here at the end of the hallway.
Okay, so the idea of what we're going to do here is we're going to take an ambient air sample, okay? Well, we need to pick where to take those samples from that are going to get the best data that we need to figure out what's going on in the home. In this case, we're at the end of a hallway where two of the bedrooms are. So by placing the machine here, I'm hoping to grab air from both bedrooms as well as the hallway.
Explain how this machine works.
So basically what this is just an air pump, and this is an aerosol cartridge. This cartridge has a sticky membrane inside, so as we suck air through it, that airborne particulate, mold spores, or whatever else might be in the air are going to stick to that sticky membrane, and then we ship this off to the lab, and the guys look at it under a microscope and tell us what's there.
So how long does this process take?
So this machine's going to run for 5 minutes, which is going to pull 75 liters of air, and let's get started doing that.
So Bob, that didn't take any time at all.
Yeah, usually an hour, hour and a half is about what it usually takes.
Okay, so now you've got all of your data points. What do you do with that information?
Well, the samples that we took, we're going to go ahead and ship those overnight to the lab by FedEx. They'll receive them tomorrow, and then they turn my results around to me in about 24 hours. So when I get the results back, I'll do my analysis and write up my paperwork.
Great. And what's your hunch about today?
Well, I really feel that beautiful home, and there were very few visible issues that we found. As it comes to the odor, I think that those wet construction materials that we found down in the basement are likely the source of that odor. It'll be interesting to see how the air samples come back from the main level to see whether there was any contamination of mold spores from the basement up to the main level.
So what happens if you do find a bigger issue than that?
Okay, well, it all depends on what we find, but generally it can be anywhere from just a little bit of cleaning to a significant amount of material removal and then replacement. So the cost for the remediation could really vary pretty greatly from just a few $100s to several thousand, depending on the problem.
And how much does it cost to have you come in for this hour and a half and do this test today?
Sure, the sampling, as a general rule of thumb, it's around $600. Obviously, a more complicated home with a more complicated floor plan or a larger home that requires more samples would be more significant.
This is great information. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
You know, high quality air can make for a high quality life. It might be time to consider whether or not air quality testing is right for your PowerHouse.
We all enjoy fresh air, but during the cooler fall and winter months, it can sometimes be a challenge to bring that outdoor air inside and still be comfortable. Meet our next guest, Shane Graber from Graber Heating and Air. Shane and his family have been in the heating and cooling business since 1938. Shane, welcome. Let's start out by learning a little bit more about a heat recovery ventilator, what it is and what it does.
Sure. This is a heat recovery ventilator here, or an ERV. This one is an energy recovery ventilator, and it brings fresh air from the outside through the core here as it's filtered into your house. It also takes stale air from inside the house and brings it and exhausts it to the outside. It does that simultaneously, but the big energy saving factor is it exchanges heat on its way through so that it's not bringing cold air in the winter in or hot air in the summer in.
Okay, and that's really important during the fall, winter months when we want some of that fresh air to come in, but we don't want necessarily that 20-degree fresh air to come in. So again, this really helps to convert that, right?
Yes.
While at the same time, the filters are, again, filtering out the bad things in the air, right?
Correct, yeah. This pre-filter here will stop some of the bigger stuff and the bigger items from getting through into your system. Whereas the core here is able to exchange the humidity and the temperature to really modulate it down to a more tolerable temperature as it enters your home.
And that's why this is such a benefit here in the Midwest.
In the Midwest, we really like having the ERV because it also does the humidity. It takes care of the humidity as it's coming in. And during the summer, we have hot, humid months. And so it really takes care of the humidity. And during the winter, where it's dry, it doesn't lose as much humidity to the outdoors.
Okay, Shane, so talk to me. I'm interested in a HRV or ERV for my house. How do I find out about this?
Talk to your local HVAC dealer, or you can find a lot of resources online.
Now, for something like this, is this something that a homeowner could do, or do I need to leave it to the professionals?
I recommend leaving it to the professionals. There's a lot of ductwork that needs to be run, some electrical as well, and holes that are drilled to the outside. So we recommend leaving it to someone who knows what they're doing and that can do it properly and ensure that it's really ventilating into your home.
Okay, how about maintenance for something like this? Is this something I could do?
The filters are something that you can easily wash out yourself with a garden hose and wash them about every 2 to 3 months.
One of the questions we always get on PowerHouse, okay, what does something like this cost?
In the ballpark of $1,600 to $2,100, depending on what size the system is and what it's doing for your house.
Okay. Shane, talk just a little bit about energy savings if I have an HRV or an ERV.
Energy savings, we can rely on about 4 to 15%, and that's the percentage of our cooling system or heating system, which is really where your expense comes in. The system itself only takes about $6 to $8 a month to run.
Shane, thank you. A lot of great information. Heat recovery ventilators might be a great tool for your house. And if you'd like more energy saving and comfort improving tips for your PowerHouse, visit PowerHouseTV.com. The moisture content of the air around us can really impact how comfortable we are. Think of the sticky, humid days of summer and the challenges that come with that. On the flip side, think of heating our homes during the colder months and creating the dry air, a challenge of its own. We're always striving for balance. By design, air conditioning units do part of their work by removing moisture from the air, creating a more comfortable air feel. Fall and winter air is naturally drier, and we dry it out even more by adding heat. One way to make that air more comfortable is by adding back in some moisture. Here to talk about the benefits of a whole house humidifier is our guest, Sean Wade from Master Plumbing, Heating and Cooling. He's seen the difference a humidifier can make in energy savings and comfort for many families. Sean, thanks for joining us today. How does a whole house humidifier work?
It works by being plumbed directly to your furnace to provide moisture to the heated air right at its source.
Let's talk about the comfort benefits that come with a whole house humidifier.
A lot of the comforts would be with your, if you have allergies or if you have asthma or, sinus pressure problems. It's good for your furniture. You don't want that wood to start cracking during the winter when you have that dry air. And it's good for better just health and quality of air.
And how about, there's some energy savings to find with a whole house humidifier, right?
Yes, so with the humidifier, you have your air temperature will actually feel warmer, so you can set your thermostat down a few degrees. And basically for every 1 degree loss of your thermostat, you're gaining about 3% efficiency.
And that's great. So a family might say, 70 degrees, I might like to set my house, but you're saying with a whole house humidifier, I may take it down, maybe
67 or 68, somewhere right in there.
Okay, and again, so you're talking maybe 9% savings on my energy bill, and that's substantial.
It is.
Maybe I've used standalone humidifiers, 2 or 3 in my house. Couldn't I just use those?
You could. You'd probably be spending more money to operate those 3 than it would just a single unit on your furnace. You know, like the house we're in right now, they had one that their 13-year-old daughter was using, and she would never remember to fill up the water, so they called us to come out and install.
Okay, so again, if I had 2 or 3, I'm powering those 3. I got to remember to add water. I've got to maintain it, but if I put a whole house humidifier, it's all combined, right?
Yep.
Talk to us a little bit about maintenance.
So once a year, you want to replace the filter and clean the unit out, and you can use Lime Away or a 3-to-1 water to vinegar solution.
Okay, so really, I mean, once a year, I'm doing my maintenance on my humidifier.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and in the summertime, I turn it off.
Yes. Yep.
And then around the fall, I recognize it's the time to turn it on.
Yep. Some people notice, like myself, when my sinus pressure starts getting high, I remember it's time to turn on the humidifier.
Okay. Our PowerHouse viewers, Sean, are always interested. What are we talking about in terms of cost?
The average cost will be between $300 to $800, just depending on the size and if it's a retrofit install or a new install.
Sean, you've given us a lot of great information. Thank you. Easy and comfortable is definitely the way to go. And if you'd like more energy-saving strategies for your PowerHouse, go to PowerHouseTV.com and AlliantEnergy.com.
As we're thinking of ways to keep our families healthy during cold and flu season, of course we think of air filtration. But you might want to consider whole house filtration systems. PJ Kalb from Colony Heating and Air Conditioning is joining us to talk about just that. In his 38 years in the business, PJ has seen filtration systems come a long way. PJ, thanks for talking with us today.
You're welcome.
Now, when it comes to air quality for your home, filters make sense, right? But what is whole house filtration? How does it work and what are the options?
So a lot of consumers are familiar with this type of a filter, which is a 1-inch disposable filter that are in most furnaces. They've improved a lot over the years. This is an accordion type filter, so there's actually more surface area to where you don't have to replace it monthly. Maybe you can go every 2 months before you need to replace this. This will come different sizes, obviously, depending on the ductwork and different thicknesses. And we have one mounted over here that's a 4-inch filter. And all that really allows you is more surface area, so you can prolong changing that. That maybe can go 3 or 4 months before you need to replace that. And this particular product has a screen on the front of it here to pick up the if larger dust particles are getting pulled in there. It traps them there. As the air flows through here, it's got ionizing cells in the middle that are going to break down these dust particles into almost a powder. And once they go through that powder, they actually have similar to a HEPA type filter on it as well, so that it traps and stops that air or that dust and doesn't allow it to get into the system itself.
Wow, so that's adding another layer of filtration, basically.
Correct, correct. And to back up on cost on these two products, to go from a 1-inch to a little wider filter, that's going to run $300-400. We'll do that more on systems that are larger. Say we got 4 or 5 ton larger homes that have one system. We want more surface area to allow more air through the system. When we get into an electronic air cleaner, we're in the $1,500 to $2,000 range. And that's really designed for people that have some allergies and things like that just want a little better product in their house to take care of some of that other finer dust and stuff. Because the big advantage of this type stuff is it's easier on our system. Our system's going to run more efficiently. Our air conditioner is going to run more efficiently. We're going to keep our coil a lot cleaner. So it's very important. What these products are here is when we get into situations where people, say, have allergies or have pets and have some odors or do a lot of cooking and have odors. These are products that we can add to an existing system or a new system that are kind of a step up. This particular one is an air cleaner that has ionizing cells here, and when air passes across it, that ionizing cells distribute that product up through and break down this dust particle before it gets into the system. And this one's really unique because it's got magnets on the back here, so it's real easy to install. It virtually just mounts to the bottom of the furnace, and then we can just take and wire this into the system.
And unlike changing a filter every month or every several months, whatever is required, there's no filter with that.
You virtually put it in, forget about it. It actually cleans itself. You can set that up to where it cleans itself every day, every 3 days, or every five days, depending on how much air is coming through the system, which is going to depend on what size, what tonnage of air conditioner we have, and how many square foot we're trying to take care of.
Okay, and the cost of that piece installed?
That piece installed runs around $400 to $600 installed.
Great. Now tell me about this.
This is just a little different than that. This one here is an air filtration and cleaner as well, but this actually has a UV bulbs in it. So this is going to break down if we have issues with bacteria and things like that. These bulbs are they turn bright purple, and they've got UV, and they're going to break down the bacteria and different products like that are running through the system that are airborne things that we can't even see.
So how would you mount this? This is retrofit as well, correct?
This is retrofit as well and can go on an existing system, or if we're putting a new system in. A lot of times we'll just take and mount it in the return. We take and cut open the return drop. This virtually slides in and just has 4 screws that mounts it. It can mount on the return. It can also mount up here on the supply duct as well.
And what's the investment price for that, to have that installed?
This is going to run about $600 to $800 installed, but this is going to need a little maintenance. You're going to need to change these bulbs usually every 1 to 2 years. So you're going to have another maybe $200 or $300 in investment in that to maintain that.
Great. As always, great talking to you.
You
Thanks
too.
so much. Anything that helps keep our families healthy is worth considering. If you'd like more health and safety tips for your PowerHouse, visit PowerHouseTV.com.
We hope you enjoyed this edition of PowerHouse.
We examine the ups and downs of air quality.
That's right. We started with a little efficiency 101 of a heat recovery ventilator.
Then we warmed up to the idea of a whole house dehumidifier.
And finally, we sifted through some facts about air filters.
Visit PowerHouseTV.com for additional information on improving and protecting the air quality in your home. We want you to breathe easy in your PowerHouse.